Hello. Today we'll talk about social welfare in connection with the inequality and poverty. The analysis is somewhat like the theory of consumer behavior by using a concept of utility function, which goes as follows. The utility level consumer is a function of consumption good A and consumption good B, right? And then we draw this kind of a graph showing the consumption good A here and consumption good B here. And then there is an indifference curve corresponding to the utility level U0, which means that any combination of these two goods along this curve will give the same level of utility U0. If consumption levels of these two goods increase, then consumer's utility level will increase accordingly from U0 to U1. So this is typical indifference curve approach based on the utility function. We apply this to analyze social welfare, which essentially is the utility of the society as a whole, so to speak. So we use the same idea. Social welfare is a function of individual's income and individual B's income. More generally, this should be utility of individual A and the utility of individual B, but for the sake of simplicity, we use just income levels, assuming that the utility levels are kind of proportional to income levels. Then we can draw the same kind of indifference curves. Here is a curve corresponding to social welfare level W0, giving combinations of income level A and income level B, giving this social welfare level. Okay, so the little bit of increase in income of individual A corresponds to a little bit of decrease in the income of individual B to get the same social welfare level. And the, of course, higher the better, meaning that if both individuals' incomes increase, there will be a higher social welfare level for the society as a whole. So this is the direct application of the consumer's utility function and the indifference curves. We will take up two extreme cases or two special cases of this analysis. One is the utilitarian social welfare function, or more specifically we call it Benthamian social welfare function, or utilitarian in general. Of course, Jeremy Bentham, a British philosopher, gave this interpretation. Here is the social welfare function depending on utility level, and for simplicity, that depends on two income levels. Now, Benthamian analysis assumes that this takes a very simple form, that's simply addition of the two income levels. So to maximize social welfare means to maximize the total income. Very simple formula. In this case, social indifference curves look like this. Just the 45-degree lines, because 1 unit of increase in income of individual A corresponds to the 1 unit of decrease in the income of individual B to have the same social welfare level because of the simple additive form. And the higher the better. If both individuals have higher incomes, then social welfare will increase. Okay? This is one extreme case. The other extreme case is the given by John Rawls. He wrote a book, Theory of Justice, and in this book he emphasized this idea. Society should maximize utility or income of the worst of person. What is this worst of person? The poorest person. So the social welfare level is really the level of the income of the poorest person. That's the minimum of these two income levels in the case of two per person economy. So here's the income level of individual A, the income level of individual B, and the smaller of these two values is the income of the poorest person in the society. That's the social welfare level. So Rawls only look at the absolute poverty of poorest people and their income level. That's the social welfare. So they maximize social welfare means maximize the income of poorest person. So raise the income of the poorest person. That's what the society should do. That's the John Rawls philosophy. In that case, we can draw indifference curves like this. It's an L-shaped curve with a kink here along the 45-degree line. Because if the individual A's income is fixed here, social welfare level is here, W0, and it doesn't change how much the other guy's income increases, because he is only looking at poorest guy's income level. Okay, so same with this one. So both individuals increase their income levels. The poorest person's income increases, therefore this will give a higher social welfare level. So this is another extreme case. So we studied the general indifference curve case, and then the utilitarian or Benthamian case, and then Rawlsian case. By applying this idea, we will understand our own choice among 6 economies. Remember? That was this choice among 6 economies, number 1 to number 6, which happens to be in this graph, these 6 points here. Here, economy number 1 gives the same income levels for group A and group B. And then number 2, number 3, number 4, that is that as rich groups' income increases, the poor group's income will decrease gradually. Okay? Which point to be chosen? And then in our class, number 4 was most popular, so to speak, followed by number 6, and there are relatively few people who chose number 1, the equal distribution. Now, how can you interpret these different results? One possible interpretation is that those who chose this number 4 or number 3, they may well have this typical neoclassical social welfare function, or this indifference curve, but there's a tangency point here inside 3 or 4. You see, if this red curve is the indifference curve, any other point on this straight line with other choices will give a lower social welfare level. Here, that's lower than this. Here it's lower than that. on the other hand, those who pick the number 6, the extreme case, where the total income is maximized, but it's most unequal, then these students may likely be having a Benthamian social welfare function. That's the 45-degree line in difference curves, which hit this corner, and any point on the straight line will be on lower indifference curves, giving a lower social welfare level. That's why this is the best point. Those who have the Rawlsian social welfare function should have chosen this point, equal distribution, because according to this L-shaped social welfare function or indifference curve, this is the best point, because any other point corresponds to a lower, indifference curves according to Rawls' value judgment. So in conclusion, Rawlsian social welfare function will focus on absolute poverty, only look at the income of the poorest person, regardless of income level of other groups. Whereas the typical neoclassical social welfare function will consider the kind of best balance between efficiency and equity. It's a little bit towards the equity, but a little bit towards more efficiency. There's a combination. Now, those who have this Benthamian social welfare function only look at the income maximization, regardless of the distribution. In fact, among these alternatives, this is the best, and this is the worst, because income level is the lowest, right? So that is just the maximum total income. So this is a possible interpretation applying the concept of social welfare functions. And in fact, this is the starting point of various kinds of discussions in relation to the social welfare, efficiency, and equity in class.